don't, but a lot of people do.
Okay. Well, when she was married to that pro basketball player several years ago, and there was an episode, they were talking about children and having a disagreement. And I said to my daughter, she was watching it, I don't, and I said, oh, this must be a rerun when they were dating. And she said, no, they're married.
Okay.
So they didn't even talk about if they were going to have children and where they would be raised and how they would be raised.
Oh, wow.
Because differences, yeah, right? Differences, but people do this. Differences in parenting and differences about children is one of the biggest reasons marriages don't survive. You know, we don't talk about money. We don't talk about lifestyle. We're not clear in who we are and what we want. We just go by, you know, are they seem to be a nice person? Am I having a lot of fun? Well, and also relationships are supposed to be hard work. We have that belief. So then it must be normal.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying there, and I actually, you know, what you're saying, I can see there are patterns in my life, you know, like relationships, hard work. That's one of my subconscious beliefs, which is probably why I'm still single. But I'm happily single. It's not like I'm actually looking. I guess I'd actually have to probably step out of my front door first of all. That will help.
There is that.
So how do you educate people then or women to say, to have that confidence, to feel empowered enough to actually come up with those difficult conversation starters? Oh,
well, I love that word empowered, because that's really what I believe the program does, the coaching does, is, I don't know about you, but I used to believe that, and I remember saying even, I can have control over every area of my life but this one. I have no control over my love life. It'll either happen or it won't. And what I know now is that's not true. You can be in control of your love life. So what I do is, because of the program that I take women through, it's like I put you in the driver's seat of your love life and how to have control of your love life. Now, can I tell you that you will meet John in 3 months and 2 days at this place? No, I can't. I'd be a bazillionaire if I could make that happen every time. But what I can do is I can take you through a discovery process that you are going to be really clear on who you are, what you want, what your patterns have been, how to change them, being really clear, what's the difference between dating the right guy and finding the right relationship. There's
a big doggy.
Yeah, he's not real big, but
he's got a big bark.
Yeah, he never barks.
Till now.
Bye. Yes, he's my protector during the day.
Oh, what is he?
He is a a Labrador and a German Shepherd.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting breed combination.
He is. He's a pretty boy. He gets complimented a lot. He's a very pretty boy. He has a lot of shepherd features on his face, so he has eyeliner around his eyes, and he's yellow.
Oh, how lovely.
And dark ears. So he's a handsome guy.
Oh,
so anyway, so we do that, and we take that information, and then we get really, really clear on what your requirements are, your lines in the sand, your what your needs are, and what your wants are. Because people date usually on their wants, and they decide things on their wants because they don't know any better. And then we make a profile and a plan. And then you go...
That's fascinating.
Yes. So, and there is something, the only way I can say that is some point in the process, and it's different with everyone. And I know it when we start the session, there's something magical that happens to women that I now know that they're in the driver's seat. I know that they're now know what it means to choose them. And I see so many women that come in and they're in a hurry. You know, they want this in their life. And I get that. I've been her. And by the time they're done, they're not in a hurry anymore. because they've got the tools, they've got the information, they've got the confidence, they feel in control, that they know how. It's kind of like marketing, Kate. They know, it is marketing. They know how to go out and make it happen.
They know their unique selling point.
I've never said that before, but it's like that. It's like, with us as coaches, how do we get our message out? How do we find our peeps? How do we find our tribe?
Yeah.
And once you know how you do that, you relax, right?
Yeah, you do relax. It's so true. And like you say, if they're feeling confident, then they're going to be their true self to somebody. Yeah. They're not going to be what they think that other person wants to see.
Yes, the scarcity is gone. The fear is gone, because they know they're enough, and they know how to do it, and they know how to make it work. They know what their pitfalls are and how to avoid them. They know how to literally market themselves, because when you're going out and it's kind of a crass term in a way, but if you go out and you're asking people for referrals, you're getting online, you are marketing yourself in a way. You're marketing yourself. You're letting people know you're out there.
Absolutely.
It's really true. So in some ways, I've never said this either. It's like really finding and owning your brand.
I love that.
Yeah, I've never said that before. How does that work for you? I've never said that before.
That sounds fantastic. You define your brand.
Yeah,
I love the fact also that you identify the difference between needs and wants, because actually they sound pretty similar, but they're not, are they? What are the main sort of mistakes that people make around needs and wants?
Oh, that they don't have clarity around them, and they don't really know what to ask for, because they maybe don't really own who they are. I'll give you an example. See, now women adapt to men instinctually. We date by instinct, by nature. What is in our nature to do? And so women adapt to men, and men react to women. So since we're adapting to men and we meet someone we really like, and what I find is there's such a difference between knowing what you want and what you need, what your requirements are and what you need, but not really having them solidified and written down. And you meet this guy that you just, oh my gosh, you've just been swept off your feet, and you forget all about those things.
Yeah.
The big ones might stay, but the smaller ones, it'll be okay. And then 5 years down the road, it's not okay, or 6 months or a year, it's not okay. So you can save yourself so much time by having them written down. And a need is like a functional need, being real about it. For me, I have to have somebody that's going to respect and work with me on clutter. Mm-hmm. I can't have a whole bunch of clutter. I'm not that much of a neat-nick that it's a requirement. I know people that are. But I need somebody that will work with me on managing that. So Bruce has his corner. He has his places that he's allowed his clutter. He's allowed to do it the way he is, but the kitchen counter is not it.
Yeah, so Bruce has his room. Bruce has his room and cupboard.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a whole room. It's a space. It's a space in the office. But no, so we're similar in that. That works. I believe a toilet seat should be down. That's why it has a lid on it. If it wasn't meant to be closed, it wouldn't have a lid. And he's respectful of those things. So those are some functional needs. I need to have bills paid. I need to. There's other things I need to have my life function, right?
Yeah.
Emotionally, what are my emotional needs? What says I love you to me? What makes me feel respected? Looking at what are some of those needs, and then what are your absolute line in the sand non-negotiables?
I think that's so important to actually know what those are, because so many people, I mean, while you're saying that, I'm thinking, what are my non-negotiables? And I suppose actually if I sat down, it would become very apparent what they are. But a lot of people go into a relationship actually probably not even knowing that person, not really not knowing them, especially if they've met them, say, online, so there's no mutual friend that's introduced them. How on earth do you start that minefield?
Well, you can really, by doing this and having this information, you can I do a sort, screen, and test method. You scout, then you sort, then you screen, then you test, and you can do it really pretty quickly when you have the information. One other thing to back up with requirements, so if I could give you an example, because we as women we're taught to be nice. We're taught not to necessarily ask for everything that we think we are. There's a woman that I had, her faith is very, very important to her. And so I was really challenging her on her requirements. And she would say, well, I can't ask for that, can I? And I said, well, how important is it to you? And she goes, a 10. Mm-hmm. So what it came down to was, it wasn't just that a man was a Christian. It wasn't just that he shared her beliefs or her faith. To her, because it was so important to her, he needed to be willing to go to her church.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yes. But she didn't know that. She didn't know that about herself, and she didn't know that it was okay to ask for that specifically. This is that important to me that I'm going to own it. That I'm willing to walk away from this relationship. If you're not willing to do that, you're not the right person for me.
Gosh, that makes so much sense, doesn't it, actually? Because, because otherwise I suppose a lot of people would dilute their values or dilute their needs. And actually you can't do that forever, especially when it's based upon your value system. If your values are out of kilter with each other, it's just never going to work.
It's not. Requirements are things that are unsolvable problems. Unmet needs, you'll have an irritation every time they're unmet, but they're negotiable. You can talk them through. Unmet requirements are unsolvable.
Yes, yeah. And so is that something that you cover in your program then, in quite a lot of detail?
Oh, yes. We spend 2 sessions on it.
So what's the name of your program, Janet?
Conscious Dating.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
And how long does that last?
Pardon me? It's 12 sessions. It's 12 sessions. We never get done in 12 weeks because somebody always, I'm going on vacation in January, so, it's usually, 3.5 to 4 months.
And so to take us through your program, would you just give us an idea of what people can get? Because then, if people are struggling in their love life and they want to know more about what you could offer them, what would they be expecting to get from Conscious Dating?
What they can expect to get from Conscious Dating is, I don't know if you're wanting the details of the program or the outcome.
A bit of both.
Okay. So the details of the program are basically, a lot of it is discovery, like I said. It's finding out who you really are, really, really are, what your values are, what your interests are, what your life dreams are, why that's important. We go through your values, love languages, I might be forgetting something. We then go into your relationship history and uncover your patterns, not just with romantically, but all of your patterns. It's not therapy, but, what were the influences of your parents? Just to see how, it affects the patterns. And then we take that information and we start taking that and we put it.
It sounds that as though ladies not only benefit from a dating aspect, but they also, I would imagine people that embark on your program learn just so much about who they are and what makes them tick on a general level too.
They do. There is something really, really magical about watching these women blossom. I've seen women go from being very timid to not being bold, but to being confident, which is just amazing. One that I have permission to talk about, her name is Sherry. she'd been married for, I believe, like 25, 26 years, divorced, had some relationships that didn't work out. And she came to me and she's like, I'm always, it's like I lose myself. It's like I don't know, I become somebody else when I'm dating and yada, yada, yada. And so we went through it, and basically what she was doing is she was adapting. And women will do that to varying degrees. Some do it a lot, some